to that place, won't you take me to that place, won't you take me there, man? Cause you said enough, you said enough, you said enough. Cause you said enough, you said enough.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first qualifier of the Elemental series. Of course, I'm Starfy Wolf. I'm joined here by the one and only Finid, as we all know and love from Octane, of course. And yeah, we're here for, like we said, for our first qualifier. We're gonna just, of course, walk you through what Elemental series is, of course, how the qualifiers are based. In general, there are 4 organizations. One, of course, Rocket Core, where you're seeing the feed right now, working together for the Elemental series. We are hosting the Air qualifier. Then there's also the Grass, Fire, and Winds. No, wait, Water qualifier. I'm super smart. You can already see it, but yeah, I mean, basically every organization hosts one of the 4 qualifiers. It's split in 2 stages. You first have the open qualifier, what we are in right now. The top 16 teams from the players in this bracket move on to Thursday, where they will play, of course, to see which one is the top 4, making it into the Elemental series. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. So we're currently in the second round of the bracket. So the winner of this match will be moving on to a qualification match, and if they manage to win that series, they will be qualifying for the close qualifier. And given that it's a single elimination format, it's there's high stakes on this. If you lose, you're out. It's a best of 3. It could be over in just 2 games. So you need to really be on your best form if you want to actually make it.
Yeah, and of course, it's not something that they're fighting for. It's quite something. Like, of course, you move on. You get that spot for the overall, general event for, of course, that 3,000. Yeah, euro. I think it was euros prize pool. I'm not 100% certain about the currency, but at least it's 3K. It's something, Finn. Like, you are fighting for something, and it's all made possible, of course, by Challenger Mode. Of course, the platform that we are hosting these tourneys on. And, well, of course, the other 3 orgs that I kind of forgot to name, because I thought, I mean, it might not be relevant, is, of course, Slipstream, Youth Throwing, and Sampler League.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's a 3K euro, 3,000 euro prize pool, and that is, it's pretty large for essentially a bubble tournament. So these players definitely one of the bigger tournaments they've played, and I think we're just about to get ready to get started with the first one. It'll be Austrian Force against You're Losing. The loser will be out of the qualifier. The winner will be going through to the qualification match.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this goes. Both teams are joining the lobby, ready to get this fight started and see how it goes. And here we go, first game of the first series for today. The kickoff already on the way, and it's quite neutral, to be fair, as we see that it is already You're Losing, trying to put up some pressure. Good read there from Tano in the midfield, and we see Skull already putting that ball to the middle. That's an opportunity, but Ice Flame is able to put it forward. And with the first few seconds, we see a high amount of pressure already from You're Losing.
Yeah, it's quite even game so far. They're not really big chances, but right now it's Austrian Force with a bit more of the pressure. Ice Flame's going to try and control this ball to boom it forward up the pitch. Interception is there though from Scow. He's immediately sussed out by Tempest, tries to put it forward, but Tano manages to get in between there. But they can't quite get the ball away at the moment. Chronomia has to make a play, gets a touch, but Jimmy's there to sort of slow it down and keep it in the control of Austrian Force at the moment. The attack is here. Tano goes for the fruit reset. There's a double commit from Scal that actually prevents Tano from really getting some danger behind that ball. The counter is there now. Tempest Frigate can't quite get a shot off. Chronomia clears it away, and that's how it's currently still 0-0.
Yeah, 1 minute gone already in this game. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how both teams perform, of course. And like you were saying, it is quite even. Beautiful opportunity right here from You're Losing. And even though Austrian Falls, is being pushed back a little bit, they're having nice opportunities. The defense is not looking too shaken, but right here, that was a shaky moment. Jimmy having to clear it to his own backboard in order to secure it going out. And now Chronomia trying to get it down to the midfield, but Ice Flame is able to put it all the way forward. But now, this is an opportunity for You're Losing. Scal is going to take control, flips it past one. But there is Jimmy immediately centering that ball once again, and now able to continue it as well. So definitely You're Losing, not getting those fundamental touches they need to keep control of that ball.
Yeah, and right now both teams are just focusing on not making mistakes, not giving the other team the opportunity to score, because you don't want that to happen. You want to be able to control the ball yourself. You want to be able to dictate what's happening in the game, and that's what You're Losing are currently trying to do. They're looking for those chances. They're not going too hard on it. They're waiting for Austrian Force to make mistakes, and right now that's not happening. So they have to start forcing those errors soon, because we're now nearly halfway through the match, and there's not really been many chances. Scow's going to go with the wall here. Can't quite get the touch up, but leaves the ball enough for Sano. Good save from Austrian Force. It's a counter opportunity here for Tempest Trigger. Tries to pass it forward to Iceland. He's going to go for this ball, but Scowl is there to beat him out, and it stays 0-0 as it comes to balls in the middle from Tempest. There's Jimmy for the shot. Goes off the crossbar and the post. He finds the gap in the defense, and it's 1-0.
And that's something commendable from Austrian Force that we really have to give them credit for. We saw how good they were at combining. Like, sometimes just making sure that you're right there, just leaving your car at a certain spot on the wall to have that ball bounce into the midfield. That's the way that play was created. Iceland not able to follow it up, but that was, of course, Jimmy, his teammate, to put it into the net. So that's definitely nice to see. But here, You're Losing has a lot of opportunity, a lot of pressure as well. Iceland trying to clear it. Tano low, but there is Tempest already playing that ball forward. Once again, Scal now with a flip reset back flick. It goes on target, but the defense is still there. They're doing their job, but You're Losing after that first devastating goal.
What a fantastic pass here from Scal. He drops it down off the backboard, gets a second touch, beautifully done. Chronomia is right there in the correct spot to put it home. Into the top corner it goes. And now You're Losing have joined Austrian Force at the 1-1 scoreline. The game's fully open again. It's both teams that have had a good set of chances, but right now it's You're Losing who are trying to make that first lead back. It's Scowl who's trying to go for the ball, but Jimmy is there to intercept. Iceland's going to try and slow it down, tries to get the air, but gets it over one. He's spun out of the air there by Chronomia. It's slowed down, and now they can go back for the attack, but Tano can't quite go reach the ball. Scowl's also front flipped, I believe. And it's just a bit of back and forth play. Neither team is really sort of solidly getting opportunities, but the goal's left wide open, and Chronomia 2-1.
Well, this is definitely something that we didn't expect. Definitely not from a team like Austrian Force that did beat Glacial before in this round. Glacial, of course, having a strong performance in previous RLCS, well, the current RLCS format. That didn't make it through the qualifying round, but it definitely did some damage right there. So Austrian Force definitely making sure that we know that their name isn't just all dog. They have some good moments, but also some very shaky ones. Because You're Losing with that goal put themselves in a good position to win this first game. Already taking, of course, the Series 2 match points. It's only best of 3, so it's just a limited amount of time that you're going to get. But here is a potential goal. Ice Flame with the redirect, able to work it in. And this is just so nice to see. Both teams really close to each other. What a great first series.
Yeah, for sure. It was Tano there with maybe a bit of an eager beaver there. Dove in a little bit, gave too much space to Austrian Force, who did immediately capitalize. And it's all squared up again. Both teams have now had the lead for at least half a minute at this point. But both teams have also given away that lead. So it really looks like neither of the teams can really sort of impose themselves as a matchup. They're both struggling to continually create chances. It's sort of a back and forth, but the ball's left open again. Jimmy can get back in time, though. Tano keeps it dangerous. Ice Flame has to make a touch, does so beautifully. Scowl's bringing it back in. The follow-up is there from Chronomia, gets stuffed out by Jimmy. Once again, such a rock on defense. Now the goal's open nearly. He gets it on the Scowl, but there's another follow-up block, and Tempest can't quite put it home either. With 20 seconds left on the clock, both teams are hunting for the winner.
Well, definitely nice pressure right here from Austrian Force. They can maybe do a lot of damage, but here it is Tano trying to keep the ball forward. Tempest now solo, gets the flip reset, is going to try and use it. Gets a beautiful touch, but Skull is right there to send it down to Chronomia. Ball still up in the air. Jimmy playing it down to the sideline. This is looking like an overtime pass into the midfield, but sadly enough, nobody there from You're Losing. And I mean, their offensive pressure has been great throughout this series already. I'm expecting way more from them. I would have assumed that I could have ended it right there, right before overtime, but we're right here, 15 seconds in, and Austrian 4 is still hanging on, now leading at pressure once again. Yeah, and it's definitely been You're Losing with most of the pressure. They've had 10 shots so far. Add another one to that. Good save from Tempest, gets the clear away as well. But Austrian 4s, they've only had 4 shots so far, and that's against a 10 of You're Losing.
That's just not what you want to see. You need to make this opportunity if you want to win. And there's a chance into the middle from Tano, but Jimmy's able to fix Tempest's mistake, gets the ball out. Tempest has to make another touch, does it, but it's too weak to really clear it away. Iceflame is there with a double commit, gets the touch away though. Chronoma's forced it to enter, it's back into the pass. So Tano goes for the double touch off the backboard, doesn't quite get its count. Keeps it close. Chronoma's there with the follow-up. Ocean Force are so boost up, but they're able to get it away through Iceflame. Not quite. There's a goal into the middle again. Tempest needs to make a save now. He does so, and Tano trying to get it back into the middle again. The center is there. Scowls off for the ball. Good block again from Iceflame. There's some clutch saves coming out from Ocean Force, but they need to turn it around. They need to take the boost control back. There's another miss on the backboard. It's Iceflame who has to make a save. Tano's up. Another save from Tempest, and they are piling up the shots at the side of You're Losing.
Well, this is just opportunity after opportunity. Beautiful opportunity right there from Tano. If that double tap went in, I would have lost it. But right now, it is Austin Fulders trying to escape once again. Tempest now leading the chance, trying to find Jimmy. Gets that ball up to the midfield. There is Jimmy getting a connection. Iceflame right behind him. Now trying to set up himself for a redirect. Not sadly enough, not able to follow it up. But now Tempest once again keeping that pressure on. Jimmy with a shot. Goes wide, and now it is Skull trying to get that lead, but Iceflame is right there. The miss on defense, and Jimmy puts it in. Oh, this is definitely a sad way to see You're Losing go out in game one.
Yeah, that's going to be frustrating for You're Losing here. They had, if I count quickly, it's 16 shots, of which I think 6 of those were in this short overtime that we saw. Just that sort of half a minute, maybe even a minute long, of just constant peppering of shots on the net of Ocean Force, but they managed to hold on. They managed to keep making those saves. As you can see, You're Losing only coming out with 2 saves, while Ocean Force themselves put up about 9. So the fact that they were able to come away with the win there is definitely surprising, because they really didn't seem like they deserved it.
Well, they had brilliant defense, like you were describing. 9 saves is just not something. I mean, it is quite up there with the amount of saves that you get. And of course, You're Losing. We were talking about how they had that pressure the entire time. We're able to just continuously barrage that defense. And of course, then the amount of shots are going to add up, but it doesn't necessarily show the majority of the game. I think if you were to prescribe an amount of percent that each team had the opportunity on the ball, it would probably be like 40-60, 40 for Ocean Force, 60 for You're Losing. Because it was quite a significant difference, but it was just You're Losing not having too good of a striking power to actually put it in and make sure that Austrian Force is not able to, well, close out the series or like win it that quickly.
Yeah, for sure. The chances that You're Losing did create seemed like more of a seemed more like it came from desperation rather than actual, methodical passing or whatever it was. It was more solo plays that they put on. It was more sort of opportunistic methods they went for, because usually Ocean Force, they needed a bunch of clutch saves, to be fair, but like most of the time there wasn't too much trouble getting those balls out of their goal, and that's what You're Losing really need to fix up. But they need to sort of choose for different opportunities. Here goes Scalder for the air dribble, can't quite turn it in though. Tano misses the ball off the wall, leaves it to Chronomia, and another solo plays. There's 2 solo plays already. It just isn't working right now for them.
Yeah, right there. Beautiful demo opening the net. Iceflame almost being able to put it in, and Jimmy keeping up that pressure. Iceflame now with a shot, and Chronomia barely any boost to get out of the net. Is actually able to do it, so this is quite a nice opportunity. Ball now bouncing high. Scout trying to follow it up, but Jimmy beats him to the ball as it is now. It's Tano trying to keep that pressure alive from You're Losing, plays it into Tempest. A little bit of a different strategy that we've seen them do before, but like we were talking about, still 1 minute in, no passes whatsoever from the side from You're Losing, and that's really the trademark that we see from Austrian Force right now. Whether it's in defense, whether it's in offense, they're always trying to find those passes, find that sort of communication or connection within their team to keep striving forwards and, well, outplay You're Losing, because we see that they are just split up apart, setting themselves up for a good, well, run-up, let's say, for a solo play, but not really for passing plays.
No, you've said that completely correct there. It's still just, the ball spends most of its time in the half of Ocean Force, but it's not like it's really dangerous at any point. It looks like Ocean Force are fairly in control. You can see that here as well. They're constantly keeping the ball in the other opponent's half now, but it's just the center for one of the You're Losing plays leaves it wide open for Tempest to score.
This is just really sad to see. Like right there, that hit on the wall should have 100% be found. And then, of course, if you go for so much confidence, if you can't make the hit, and the hit being, of course, the pass towards your teammate, in that opportunity, you just really have to make a touch. It doesn't really matter what touch it is anymore, but right there, we saw just Arsenal Force waiting, realizing that they were in a bad position, not able to get that touch, so that's something else. But now it is Chronomia, gets it past one, but there is Jimmy, already centering to Tempest. That's a beautiful shot, and it is 2-0.
That is indeed a beautiful shot from Tempest. Secures the brace. He comes off the corner, beautifully turns his car around. Meanwhile, his teammate demos Scowl, so he's out of the play. The goal is open, but that's not quite all of it. It's a beautiful finish from Tempest. He puts his team 2-0 ahead, and it looks like Ocean Force have really taken control of this game so far. They're really pushing. They're losing back into their own half. Good save needed again, though, and Scowl just about gets around. It stops Iceland from getting on the counter, but it's just they're struggling right now. You're losing. They're really sort of letting Ocean Force just walk over them.
Well, they're letting them walk over them, maybe because they find no connection, no way to really outplay one of the defenders from Arsenal Falls. They're really nicely positioned, making sure that if one is passed, there's another one behind them to, well, catch up and get into a position to go for their teammates. And that's, of course, important to see. But right now it is Jimmy sending the ball forwards all the way up to Ice Flame, who gets a little bit of a control touch into Jimmy, but Tano is right there. Good speed from You're Losing, and this should be a goal. Chronomia is able to convert it. And these are the kind of passing plays, although they're very simplistic, that You're Losing really has to use and abuse against Arsenal Falls.
Yeah, and that was so well done there from Tano. He comes out of the side of the goal, which allows him to reach that height that he needed without actually using any boost or using a jump. He was able to beat the attacker there and get the surprising clear. Chronomia in the right spot to take advantage. He put it into the goal, made it 2-1, but there's a double touch from Ice Flame coming out. Doesn't quite get it under the bar, though. Jimmy now goes for the fake. Oh, Tano doesn't quite miss him out, but there's a pass again, and Tempest with his hat-trick.
Yeah, this guy is really on a roll. I mean, in previous tournaments that we did see this guy play, he's always been a little bit more of a solo player. And it's nice to see that right now in the roster of Austrian Falls, it actually has some teammates that really adapt to him well. Find him for passes. Get into a good position to pass too, because Ice Flame, we saw he's really that guy that you want to set up with some kind of redirects, whether it's in defense or in offense. He's able to do them, but right now, this is an opportunity for You Losing. Jimmy able to send that ball to the side, and this is just beautiful teamwork. We see it again, Tempest now, ball touch, Jimmy right there to clean it up. And these are the connections that You're Losing really lacks, and what's making them struggle against Austrian Falls.
Yeah, exactly. They're just not really, they're not finding each other at all. They're sort of leaving it to their teammates to do everything themselves and hope that some kind of flip reset, whatever works, eventually goes into the net. But it's just not going to happen because Austrian Force are set up perfectly to counter that. Here again, Ice Flame right in there, gets a double touch over Chronomia, who is able to get touched, but Jamie just, no one's really challenging if they're not the first man. It's like it's a sort of 2-1 formation, right? Any, dynamic pieces to it. It's just one man at a time, throws at the ball. There's a triple commit almost. Tano should be able to get back in time, does so, but they're just not getting the boost control they need and not getting the ball control they need. They do have some of that here, though. Tano gets a shot away, but it's just not dangerous enough to really challenge Ocean Force with their current setup in the defense. Again, really good speed there from Tempest to beat the You're Losing players to the ball. Tempest again in there, really good pass from Jimmy. They figured You're Losing out completely. Again, beat to the back when Iceland with a free shot doesn't quite hit the target, but they keep that pressure on. They keep You're Losing in their own half at the moment.
Yeah, with the last 25 seconds to go, You're Losing is really in a poor spot. They really have to score twice now in 20 seconds, and hard task to do so. Maybe it's just try and cover the wounds as much as possible, get at least one consolation goal. Ball into the midfield, Tano with a shot. Now Chronomia turning around, Ice Flame right there, the defender, and with those 10 seconds remaining, yeah, it's already safe to say that it is Austrian Falls that will be moving into the next round, but now Tano still going for a flip reset. Will it work this time? Double flip reset into Chronomia, Skull right there to keep that ball up. But Ice Flame, sadly enough, not, I mean, it is whatever really, but another opportunity for You're Losing to try and score would have been nice.
Yeah, and that concludes what was actually in my opinion, slightly surprising result, especially if you saw how well you're losing with playing, how well they were putting shots on the net in the first game, especially in the overtime, it's really sort of against the run of play, especially the first game for sure. The second game was definitely Austrian Force putting out most of the pressure, but you're losing definitely had a chance to take this one, and they'll be kicking themselves because that is a shame. They'll have to try again in one of the other 3 qualifiers we'll have coming up for the Elemental Series. It'll be Austrian Force moving on. It's really qualification match. I'm not sure if we're going to break now, if we're going straight through to the next one, but we will be streaming one of the next series, the qualification series, winner of which will be moving on to the close qualifier for the air section of the tournament. We'll be going to a quick break for a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Get some food, get some drinks, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Better off, better off. I am wicked, you're insane. But I wouldn't have it any other way. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, or toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, we can't stop. 'Cause together, we're better off, and we can. Better off, better off. Better off. I am crooked, you're clean cuts. I'm wide-eyed, your eyes are shut. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance. Pound for pound, we're a perfect match. Pulling punches, or toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, we can't stop. 'Cause together, we're better off, and we can.
Yeah, and we're back from a little break onto our next match, and I'm still Stealthy Wolves, joined by Finn, or Finland. We're gonna, of course, enjoy this to the fullest, and the next game is something special. We saw Drillers and Trappers in RLCS, for instance, but now we also have against them for this game, Style 7 Esport. Now, what is really interesting to see is that Style 7 have been performing relatively well in most bubble scene kind of tourney. So it's for them a nice way to see, are we able to step up to that level that was playing in the RLCS just now in the group stage, that sadly enough lost there with 1-3. Or are we just still leagues behind them? It's going to be quite interesting. Do you have any bold predictions, Finn?
Well, I've got a prediction. It's not a bold one. I think it's going to be a simple 2-0 for Drillers and Trappers. I think they're just, especially with the RSS experience they had this weekend, I think they're just miles ahead of Stealth 7 right now. But, anything is possible in Rocket League. We saw it this weekend. Anything can happen, It could be Stealth 7 just coming out of nowhere and taking a series and qualifying for the air closed qualifier. But for me, it's Drillers and Trappers. It's just they individually are just much stronger players than Stealth 7, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would also take that. It is, of course, in the end, Drillers and Trappers that, of course, win. But I would say that there might be a possibility that, friends. We'll call them friends for now. Style 7 Esports might take a game off of them, at least.
Yeah, it's certainly a chance. We're going to see how it's going to go down now. The teams will be joining the lobby at the moment. We'll be kicking off right now with the kickoff in a second. It's going to be an interesting game regardless of the odds that we've just put on the stream now. But it is starting off now from the side of Drillers and Trappers. A Faker came out from Chippy. He starts off the game well with a beautiful double fake. Gets the 1-0 for Drillers and Trappers.
Yeah, well, immediately applying pressure, showing Style 7 that have been performing well. Guys, this is the level you have to expect. This is the level you have to step up to. And they're doing it splendidly so far. That first tiny play of the kickoff from Chippy already dealt a lot of damage to Style 7. Now they, of course, need to know, okay, we have to get out of this, get out of that mentality and just strike back. But right there, we have Flexi a little bit slow, not able to get a touch now. No, able to get that ball almost into the midfield, but Chippy lurking to the side, plays it past one, plays it past two, beautiful control into the middle. Oh, it's trying to solo it, but sadly enough, not able to do it.
No, and it's just constant pressure now from Drillers and Trappers. They're really putting on the shots here. On now, again, beats Flexi to the ball. Leaf has to make a touch, does so, but it's just not strong enough. The double touch is going to come in from Chippy. Good save needed from Brinket and does so. But the clear, again, it's just Drillers and Trappers constantly rotating and getting the boost, getting a touch, and getting that, the pressure is just going to keep on coming if Stealth 7 don't switch something up. Right, the chances here from Brinket, create some space for himself, but just puts it too far away, out of his reach. The interception's there from Worms. Oh no, he's going to try and leave it to Chippy now. Gets a double touch, beautifully done. And that's how quick we can go to the other side of the pitch. It's Drillers and Trappers in complete control right now.
Well, and control, of course, has to shift, but still the pressure is there. Now, no, trying to get it down to the midfield where Chippy is, of course, going to wait. But beautiful play right there from Style 7. Maybe not the passing play that they anticipated, that they orchestrated, but it ended up being quite so nice passes towards each other. But now Chippy sending the ball into the midfield. There's Wompt already sending it to the left. They saw there was 3 men in defense, not taking any risks right here. Of course, this is experience, and it's fine as they know this is a shot that we can take. This is a shot that will certainly be saved. So they're not taking their chances as the ball still moves into the midfield. Lethal right there, not able to get the touch that he needs. So Style 7 definitely in a little bit of a tight spot, to say the least, in this, well, 2 minutes that's already gone.
Yeah, exactly, but they've managed to, limit the damage so far. It's only 1-0, and that's, of course, you just need 1 goal to tie it up, and they do just that. Flexi sees the opportunity, sees that Chippy's pass is just not quite enough to reach his teammate, gets the interception, pinches it with Unknown, and that's all they need, that's all that's required to just tie it up immediately, and that's how we get to an even score. The kickoff is going to come in now, and the question now is going to be, can Stealth 7 hold on? Can they really put forward now? There is a chance for Lethal, gets one to the centre for Flexi, but it's a good clear from Unknown, gets in there, and he's also able to take a shot on his own. Brinker gets a touch, but it's not quite good. Chippy's there for the shot, but it just lacks power.
Yeah, and this is a little bit lacking performance right now from Drillers and Trappers. Okay, maybe this is also one of the reasons why they didn't perform maybe as expected in the group stage. But right there, beautiful shot. Flexi almost putting the second one in. Style 7 really playing the game of their life right now. After this first horrified 1 minute, Lethal now gets a shot to the midfield. Chippy Brinker trying to double dash it, sends it into the midfield. There is Lethal already blocking Chippy, and the ball is a little bit of a free one, unknown against Flexi, and it is Chippy right now with a shot, and Brinker able to save. It is really a lot of pressure right now from Drillers and Trappers. They cannot really handle being scored on by Stealth 7, it seems like.
No, and Stealth 7 have really shifted into first gear here. They've constantly put in their shots, but they need to watch out on the defense. Womp can't quite get it on target. Chippy's leaving it to his teammate, does so well, but the ball is cleared out, and Stealth 7 can now come forward, put the ball back into the other team's half again, but Chippy, well done. They gets a demo as well, has to beat Brinker here, doesn't quite manage that. But right now, Stealth 7 is doing really well on defense. A good save again from Flexi coming out. Chippy goes to that, but probably shouldn't have. It's a go open net now for Flexi. He takes advantage of the eager dive from Chippy.
See, this is really interesting right now. We're talking about how it might be good for Stealth 7 to see how far they can push Drillers and Trappers. Maybe get some close games out of them, but right now they're in the lead. Definitely looking pretty sharp, and if they can keep picking up on those mistakes from Drillers and Trappers, we might have, well, what people might see as quite the upside.
Yeah, for sure. They're doing really well now. The save is not needed even because Womp slams it into the crossbar. Chippy keeps the pressure. Oh no, with the shot again, a save from Flexi. Really keeping his team in it here. Brinker's going to get a free clear. Can't quite get it towards his team that was waiting on the wall. But again, a double commit from Drillers and Trappers. They look shaky right now. They're letting Stealth 7 take more shots. Again, Womp needs to get a save, needs to use boost on that. And that boost can then not be used to put in an attack of their own. The clear comes in, but there's not really anyone to receive it. So Stealth 7, they look the better team here, and that's really surprising because, you know, on paper, as we said, Drillers and Trappers are the known team. Again, a shot, a beautiful one. Lethal finds the top left corner, beautifully done.
I mean, I think we're very certain to say at this point that the damage has been done. Stealth 7 have given their name out there and shown Drillers and Trappers, you know, guys, you might have made it up until the RLCS bracket, but right now you're losing to us. We weren't even there, but it is 3-1. Game 1 is looking like it will go Stealth 7's way unless Drillers and Trappers somehow shift themselves into that first gear as well, like you said. But right now, there's still a lot of pressure. Brinker trying to find that ball into the middle. Try and pass the teammate, but now Lethal against a no, a little bit more speed. Now sending that ball into the middle. There's no one from his team right there. Brinker sends it high. Lethal already up. Sends it to the back ball. Double touch. Almost found, but Chippy is able to clear it out, and with 20 seconds remaining, Drillers and Trappers are really in a shaky position. Maybe just need some momentum for game 2, because yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go past game 2 for Drillers and Trappers if they want to make it into that top 16.
Yeah, and that is quite the upset, as you mentioned. Chippy's going to try and get a go back and get that momentum, and like you said, but he's unable to. Oh no, puts it forward. Flex and Lethal, go for a double commit. Doesn't really matter. It's 3-1 at the moment. They can't lose now. At least for game 1, of course. And here they go. It's a very convincing performance from Stealth 7 to close out game 1 here. They like the first maybe minute and a half was as we expected. It was definitely Drillers and Trappers coming out with most of the pressure. But after that, Stealth 7 just came alive. I don't know what changed. I don't know what sort of mental shift they made, but it was good and it worked, and Drillers and Trappers were unable to come back from that.
Yeah, it was definitely that first kickoff that really just shook the goal from Stealth 7, if you ask me. Like, right there, that fake from Chippy, just taking it past all 3 in defense. It does something to your mental game, and I think they were just able to turn it around beautifully, splendidly, and we saw after a little bit, 2 minutes in, we saw Stealth 7 coming alive, scoring that first goal, then that second one, that we were like pretty excited to see because they were leading of Drillers and Trappers, and then just the last one was just the nail in the coffin. Drillers and Trappers were like, okay, this might not have been what we expected from a team that we might not even know. So I think for game 2, they will be going in like, okay, we have to treat these guys like they are proper teams in the running for RLCS. We can't take them lightly. They're not just your usual bubble team because they can actually perform and win against us. So that will be pretty interesting to see in game 2.
Yeah, for sure. It's also going to depend on if Stealth 7 can keep up that level because, you know, much like us, they could have also not expected themselves to be winning that first game in the way they did. So what's important for them is to keep the focus up, manage to, sort of manage the nerves, make sure you're not falling apart, because once you do that, Drillers and Trappers are a team that can definitely take advantage of that. There's a lot of individual skill within that roster. So they just have to shut down their offense completely. They need to keep taking their own shots. They can't let Drillers and Trappers build up any pressure. They almost do that right there. But Lethal is able to get it away. The attack is immediately set back in though. Womp gets it past the first. Flex is going to try and deal with this. Does so, but the ball is sent out to the middle of the industry. Uno's up quick, but Lethal easily dealing with it, letting the ball bounce down, even setting up an attack of his own. Frozen needs to make a save, does so, turns it around. Chippy when I try and make the first attack for Drillers and Trappers.
Yeah, and we see good amount of patience coming out from Stealth 7, and that's really just that point, and Brinker with the first goal. Stealth 7 is just playing the series of their life right now, I think.
Yeah, for sure. That's a beautiful shot from Brinker. Once you can see him, isn't ready for it. Bottom corner, beautifully placed once again. It's really the shooting accuracy that's helping Stealth 7 at the moment, because while they may be creating more chances as well than Drillers and Trappers, they're also taking more. Their shooting is looking top-notch at the moment. Lethal needs to deal with this. Can't go get the touch. Womp doesn't expect it either. Brinker is there, backs up his teammate. But again, they can't just... Drillers and Trappers is just unable to break through the defense that S7 are currently putting up. Again, Lethal's in there with the clear. Brinker's also beating Womp to the ball. The ball is open, but he misses it off the post. And Uno able to get it away.
Yeah, Finn, this is really some damage for Stealth 7. Brinker could have scored that, but right now they're still trying to find that second one, maybe in a little bit more of a normal way. And Drillers and Trappers are really shaking to that goal. It's talking about how in the previous series, Your Losing was playing a little bit more solo, and I have to give it right now. Drillers and Trappers are doing the exact same, but right there, that was an open opportunity. Chippy could have just dived that, but there was barely any communication, and even from his point of view, we could have judged that. But I think if Womp was able to make that call, they could have easily scored that one, tied this one up, and now it is 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Womp with a shot on target, Flexi able to get the save, and Brinker just throwing off Chippy right there with the extra touch. And that's something that we see from Stealth 7 quite a lot, just outplaying that opponent by going for touches that you don't expect, and a beautiful save right there from Brinker just to keep it 0-1.
Yeah, and the way Stealth 7 are currently avoiding being under pressure, it's just all the time they get a follow-up touch. There's the initial clear, but if there's no one to receive it, you're not going to have much use of it, because the other team can just build back up pressure, yeet the ball back into the other half, pick up some boost, and take some shots of their own. So the fact that they're constantly seeking each other out when they're clearing the ball is so important. Again, they tried it there, but Flexi missed the ball. The bump tries to come in, can't quite get in. Womp is going to tie it up, and Drillers and Trappers have found what they're looking for.
Well, this is finally experience coming on. I was wondering, man, the physical plays from the side from Drillers and Trappers is going to come in. We both know that a bump or going for a potential demo might do quite a lot of damage, and right now it is really the only way that Drillers and Trappers is getting past the defense from Stealth 7. We're talking about that follow-up touches. Of course, it makes your defense a little bit weak. You have to spread out in order to get that ball far immediately. But that also means that you only have one in a proper defensive position. But right now, it is Brinker trying to get that ball forwards. But now Flexi, good first touch. Lethal right there, sending it all the way to the other side. Passes it to Womp, though. This is an awkward position. Womp, slow ball. Lethal, one touch. Brinker in no position, and the side post is able to save Stealth 7 as a no. Sadly enough, can't put it on target, but now it is Chippy trying to put it through with some mechanical play. We saw him outplaying the entire defense in the start of game 1 with such mechanicality. And okay, no top in, sadly.
It's nearly gone in, but right now Drillers and Trappers are really drilling the ball home into the other field and trapping the other team into their half. They just can't quite finish up at the moment, and Stealth 7 slowly coming out of that defense. Good touch from Flexi, stays with it as well, but can't get the follow-up. Brinker goes for the double touch off the back, but the shot is there, misses. But Flexi, the follow-up, and there's no one from Drillers and Trappers to keep it out.
This looked very massive from the side from Stealth 7 right there. Lethal could have gotten that touch, but maybe Flexi called him off, realized there's only one in the defensive position. He's facing your way. Don't go for the touch. Just leave it. I'm right there to follow it up. And it is maybe a little bit of an unorthodox way to play this game. A little bit not of the strategic kind. You want to have that defensive man from time to time. But if you're certain you can score, why do it? I mean, then you can just go for it. And Stealth 7 just showing it. Now Flexi pass to the middle. And Brinker with a beautiful reception. 1-3. Yeah, Drillers and Trappers really in for a run for their money.
Yeah, and that was beautifully done from Lethal. He gets to clear, finds his teammate Flexi, and Flexi and Brinker both realize this is a 2-on-1. We have Chippy on his own, unprotected, in his own net, and they played it beautifully. Perfect pass from Flexi, perfect finish from Brinker as well. And again, it's a shooting accuracy that's doing it for Stealth 7 right now. Drillers and Trappers must be getting frustrated. The desperation must be setting in because, again, just like game 1, they're looking at a 3-1 deficit with now just over a minute remaining. Their second goal has to come soon. It might come right here. Oh no, with a free shot, does get it in. The save is not quite there. The touch is made, but Drillers and Trappers back in it.
Yeah, definitely probably shaken to that kill, realizing, okay, we can't take anything of a risk right now. We have to make sure that we get those goals and equalize this score as quickly as possible. And that first goal just gives them 1 more minute to do it. But they need more of that physical play. We saw it in the start, getting them that first goal that way. But now it is swamped in the air, read by Lethal, who plays it down to the side, and this is the control play from Stealth 7. Brinker sending that ball forward while getting demoed. Just shows that Drillers and Trappers are really not in a good position. They are trying to go for the damage, trying to go for those bumps, but they're being a little bit too slow, and Stealth 7 are just really putting on that pressure.
Yeah, and again, the shot is just so good. If you are Drillers and Trappers, what are you supposed to do against these kind of shots? Lethal puts under pressure, gets the touch back into the middle. Flexi, right on the crossbar. Chippy can't quite reach it, and it's just time and time again. When they get the ball in the other half, the shots are just perfect. And it's 12, Stealth 7 Esports, they've restored their 2-goal lead, and again, it's just Drillers and Trappers. They have to do some more chasing, and Lethal cuts it out quick. Just no space given to Drillers and Trappers. Brinker's able to set up another attack of his own, goes for the double touch. Chippy's there, interception. Flexi opts to leave it. He knows they don't need a goal right now. They could just sit on this 2-goal lead. It was just 20 seconds to go. Drillers and Trappers need something real soon.
Yeah, the passes have no speed. The connections are way too slow because Stealth 7 is able to read them perfectly. And this is looking like this will be Stealth 7's victory. Because with 10 seconds remaining, you can't defeat that 2-goal deficit. 5 seconds to go. Let's see if they can at least make a consolidation goal. But now it is Flexi into the middle. And no, keeping that ball high. Brinker dropping it, and it is done. Stealth 7 have won this series. We both chose against them. I thought they could win 1 game. We were both wrong. They won both games in this best of 3, sweeping Drillers and Trappers.
Yeah, and that is probably one of the biggest upsets of the qualifiers. Stealth 7 managing to advance to the main, to the closed qualifier. Drillers and Trappers, they've been eliminated. The RLCS qualifiers, they just weren't really able to play their game. It was Stealth 7 that constantly managed to cut them out, constantly managed to find each other, to get those clears, to get those passes. We saw it so many times, taking advantage of the space given to them by Drillers and Trappers. And it was surprisingly, it was more like Stealth 7 were the favorites for this game than Drillers and Trappers, in my opinion.
Yeah, they definitely just put their name out there. Like, they won not of just any team. We saw that Drillers and Trappers were still rocking their RCS titles. They have that experience. They know what it is to play at that top level. But yeah, I mean, over time, you of course speak, there will be players better than you. As Stealth 7 really just impressed me even more than they did before when I had to cast over them. And if this team keeps just growing time and time again over time, I would really see them going to that RLCX stage 2 potentially. So that might be also pretty interesting. But of course, we will see them again on Thursday. Then they are already qualified for their close qualifiers. Of course, we had a little bit of a feed on the side from Gavestern as well, covering other sides of the bracket if you want to see that. And I think there will be a vote for it. So that might be interesting to see which other teams might have had a big upset against them. But it was quite an interesting stream.
Yeah, for sure. It was 2 sweeps, but neither of them were really a clear set story. It was in the first game at your choosing, managing to not managing to get a win over Ocean Force. Ocean Force, they were chasing the game for most of it, but they managed to keep it out. And this game, the massive upset from Stealth 7 Esports to secure their spot in the close qualifiers. They've been some interesting games, been some very good games, but that'll be it for this stream for the open qualifier at least. We'll be I think we'll be back on Thursday if I say that correctly.
Yes, we'll be back on Thursday indeed for the close qualifiers. So that will be interesting to see how that goes, of course. But Finn, I would like to thank you for being here with me for this open qualifier. It was absolutely fun. It's always been a pleasure, of course, to cast with you. It's been always fun, also on the side from the other streams that we've done together. And I mean, it might be interesting to see how the rest of this entire Elemental series goes. Everybody should really stay tuned and stay up to date with this. And definitely for Thursday. Thursday is going to be an absolute blast. It's going to be amazing because the teams that we did see making their name, Style 7, for example, are already in the top 16. Will be fighting for that spot, of course, for the main event in that close qualifier. So, sadly enough, I don't think we will be there. You will probably be there with Gavastrian. So, yeah, it's been a blast. I would like to thank you and of course Sunderlight for streaming, and I've been Selfwheeled.
Till our last breath, every heartbeat. You know I'll come running. You go to war, then I'm going with you. Pick up my sword, yeah, there's nothing I won't do. When you sound the alarm and the chaos is rising, leading the charge, yeah, I'm coming, I'm fighting. Swear on the breath that I breathe, I'll never retreat, yeah, I'll be your army. When your nightmares turn to real life and the ground's filled up with landmines, we will face it standing side by side. You know I'll come running when you need. I'm coming. You know I'll come running. You go to war, then I'm going with you. Pick up my sword, yeah, there's nothing I won't do. When you sound the alarm and the chaos is rising, leading the charge, yeah, I'm coming, I'm fighting. Swear on the breath that I breathe, I'll never retreat, yeah, I'll be your army. If you go to war, then I'm going with you. Pick up my sword, yeah, there's nothing I won't do. When you sound the alarms and the chaos is rising, leading the charge, I'm coming, I'm fighting. Swear on the breath that I breathe, I'll never retreat, yeah, I'll be your army.
Abrázame toda la noche, no nos queda mucho tiempo más. No quiero perder lo que queda. Seguimos siempre la pasión y confiamos solo en el amor. Yeah. No quiero perder